Around and around we go. Where do we go? Nobody knows, except I do. And today we will be talking about current currency courtesies. When planning your trip abroad, it's common to go ahead and look up the currency in which you will be spending your US dollars in. Noticing these changes, I'll be giving some need to know information about that and some advice as well. So, the first need to know is that currency is like a stock, it fluctuates minute to minute and day to day. So it can increase at will and it can decrease depending on the situation of the country. This means for people who are going to countries and you want to use your debit card, the time in which you buy the item is most likely going to be the currency exchange rate. Another thing to note when you're shopping using your debit card is that different businesses go by different exchange rates. Some businesses go by the exchange rate of the previous ending day. Some businesses can go by the morning. So please keep note of that. This is also applicable to cash as well. So when you go to the banks or you go to the airport to try to get your currency exchange, the amount you get back can vary. My biggest advice is to avoid airport exchange rates. Not only are their exchange rates not that great, but you also have to pay a high fee to get cash back. The two plus sides to having it done at the airport is the fact that you don't have to run an errand outside of the other tasks that you're going to do to prepare for your trip abroad, and the fact that some airports do accept card, so you can pay with card and they will give you back cash. Overall, I would say it's not worth it. So a question that might be asked is, well, if I'm not at the airport, how do I get currency exchange? There are three possible ways. One is doing it at your bank. One is becoming a AAA member. And the third is using an international ATM. First one, your bank. Depending on the banks and credit unions that you are affiliated with, they can give you an option to do currency exchange. Typically, it takes about 10 business days, if I'm not mistaken, and you can have the currency shipped to your house. Some banks might only do pickup. So, the banks I know that do currency exchange are First Citizens Bank, Bank of America, I think South State Bank. And those are the ones I remember at the moment. My Federal Credit Union doesn't do it. So I had to go look for another option. Which brings me to option number two, AAA. So if you grew up the way I grew up, AAA, typically when you talked about it, it was for tires and cars. But they don't just do tires and cars. They actually do a few things to help with international travel. One of which is having an international driver's permit, which can help you get a car. The other thing they help with international wise is having currency exchange. If you are a AAA member, they allow you to do free currency exchange. So they will give you the known exchange rate that they're going by. You give them the cash, or you can give them your credit card or debit card to get the cash back. The thing that the agent mentioned to me when they were trying to do it via credit card was the fact that it can go under as a cashing advance just because they're giving you cash for the credit card usage. You would have to discuss that with the customer service rep if it would go under as a cash advance or a regular purchase. I just avoided it altogether by paying for it with my debit card and having to pick it back up at the AAA once the currency arrived. So you would have to pick it up after you placed your order, And that will wrap up option 2. Option 3, international ATMs. International ATMs are placed in various areas. One of the most known areas to find an international ATM is at airports. These are typically found in your destinations. From my memory, I remember there's an international ATM in Seoul, Incheon Airport. There's one in the Daegu International Airport. There's one in Fukuoka, because I used that one. And there's one in the Narita Airport. I can't talk for Haneda Airport because I haven't traveled there. I would say for them, you would see a sign that just says ATM, and some signs will say International ATM. So, depending on your destination, they might have like their bank's ATMs right at the airport, but they might not have an international ATM. If you are looking for an international ATM outside of the airport, your best bet is to find a popular convenience store and or gas station chain and see if their ATMs would accept it. So here in Japan, I'm pretty sure 7-Eleven accepts, and possibly the one in Lawson, they would do international cards, and not just debit cards, but credit cards, because I was able to use it. For credit cards, it went under as a cashing advance. Debit cards get hit with a different fee. So their fee is the fact that you're using the third party service. So you might have to pay an extra fee, and then your bank might charge another fee, which is them doing the exchange rate themselves. So because your bank is going to go through exchanging it from dollars to yen, dollars to won, dollar to pesos, whichever way you go from dollars to whatever currency you're going to, they might charge you a international exchange rate fee. There really isn't a way to bypass that. It's kind of just chalked up to the game. If I figure it out, I'm going to gatekeep it. I wouldn't tell you even if I knew. However, I will give you this advice. This was given to me by my mentor when she was helping me plan my study abroad. So her advice was to have two different cards under one bank account. And what I mean by that is not having two of the same cards, but you should have two cards with two different numbers. That way, if one of your cards is locked, you will be able to use the other card because it's not. Some banks will allow that. My credit union did not. So what I did was I opened up two checking accounts. With this credit union, my card gets locked because it has a fraud detection on it. I can just easily do an internal transfer from one account to the other, and I basically get it in the same minute, and then I'll be able to use the card. It has saved me quite a few times during my study abroad and my working abroad journey. And that's the end of this episode. Around and around we go. Where did we go? We went and talked about current currency courtesies. Next episode, we will go and talk about short term communication suggestions. This just means what you should do to prepare for your travel abroad for those who are staying less than 90 days, and what apps you can use to help you navigate at a cheaper price.